It's a beautifully calm day here at Nurburgring, GP, Formula, OSRW, as we're getting ready to get things underway.
The tension's building now. This is going to be another great race.
Starting from pole position is a great opportunity for Roll Postma to take control of the race.
The pressure's on now. Can he handle the heat and stay ahead of the pack?
Jerry Yu is going to be starting from second.
They are in a good place to mount a good challenge come the first corner.
The third position belongs to Racer XTC. As the drivers prepare to take off, Mike O'Hagan sits in fourth place on the starting grid. Starting just behind the front runners in fifth place is the determined driver, Hippie. Our sixth place starter, Megasaurus 55, is a driver who knows how to make up ground on the track. From the middle of the pack, we have Lars in seventh place on the starting grid. On the eighth grid slot, we have Jack M Team. As the engines roar to life, Hugh Jass prepares to take off from the ninth position on the starting grid.
But don't count them out yet, they've got the skills to pay the bills.
Robin Overbeck is 10th. Starting from 11th on the grid is not ideal for D-Max, but they're a fighter. Starting from 12th on the grid is a decent position for Smells Like We, all things considered.
Where can Smells Like We finish today?
Mr. Bang may not be starting from pole, but they're still in with a shot.
The Earthling driver has got something to prove.
Starting from 14th on the grid is a tough ask for Chris Duke, but they're up for the challenge.
Are the standards tires the way to go?
Green flag, green flag.
These first moments can set the tone for the rest of the race. It's all about keeping a clear head and making smart decisions.
A brilliant maneuver from Chris Duke, who has just moved up the field.
Yes, Chris Duck is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
I can't wait to see how this race will play out.
I'm looking forward to burning some rubber here, Rob.
Talk about a rough beginning. Racer XTC must feel like they've got the world's heaviest anchor attached to their car, dropping positions at the start.
Every race has its ups and downs, and it looks like Racer XTC is getting their down out of the way early. Let's see how they respond.
All the drivers will be trying to take advantage of the pack whilst they're still bunched up. This is not looking good for Barkers. They've just lost 10th to Jack M Team, and their strategy seems to be failing them. You can feel the tension in the air.
The drivers are all focused, putting everything on the line for a chance at victory, pushing themselves and their machines to the limit.
And let's not forget about the incredible machines themselves.
Absolutely, it's amazing to think about the kind of engineering and innovation that goes into making these vehicles. But it all comes down to the drivers who have to be able to handle the power and speed. It's going to be thrilling seeing how this race turns out.
The stewards will be hoping that there aren't too many incidents for them to pick over when the dust settles on this one. It's not looking good for Jack M Team. They are still behind Mr. Bang and the gap is increasing. They are going to need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around.
It's not over yet, but Jack M Team needs to get a move on if they want to catch up to Mr. Bang.
As a former driver, Hal, how did you manage the physical demands of racing?
It's all about preparation, Rob. Drivers undergo rigorous fitness training to build their strength, stamina, and flexibility. A proper diet and hydration plan is also essential to ensure peak performance on race day.
Looks like Robin Overbeck took a page from the Tortoises playbook, but I'm not sure slow and steady wins this race.
It's gonna mean more work for them, but they should be able to recover. It's early days yet, Rob.
I think passing is going to be difficult today here at Nurburgring, GP, Formula, OSRW, so it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers get on. If this were a game of musical chairs, Puppy Dog from Hell just lost their seat, dropping positions right from the start.
Not the best of starts, but it happens. I expect Puppy Dog from Hell won't be there for long.
As we watch the drivers fight it out in the first lap, I can already feel that this has all the makings of an epic race.
I am so excited at the prospects for this race. I can't wait to see the drama unfold.
The action is non-stop as Roll Postma shadows Hugh Jass through every twist and turn, determined to claim 6th. There's not much to report on from Roll Postma at the moment. They're just keeping their head down and putting in consistent laps. Fantastic racing on show here today, and it's not just the top drivers who are impressing us. Even the drivers at the back of the pack are putting up a good fight, battling it out for every position.
It's a testament to the level of competition at Assetto Corsa, friends. Even the smallest mistake can cost you valuable seconds, or even lead to a crash. But these drivers are up to the challenge, and they're giving it their all. It's clear that Assetto Corsa, friends, really is the place to be for top-quality racing.
Lars is holding ninth, but Jack M team is right on their tail. Robin Overbeck is on a mission, chasing Roll Postma, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. It's a steady race for Racer XTC so far. They haven't made any mistakes, and they are maintaining their focus.
Did you know, Rob, the first motor race is generally considered to have taken place on July 22, 1894, in France, between the cities of Paris and Rouen. The race was organized by the French newspaper Le Petit Journal and was open to vehicles powered by either steam, gasoline, or electricity. The race covered a distance of 126 kilometers or 78 miles and was won by the Comte Jules Albert de Dion driving a steam-powered vehicle. This event marked the beginning of the modern era of motor racing.
And things have come a long way since then. How? Well, it doesn't look like Roll Postma is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Jack MT.
They certainly aren't going to be close enough to mount any kind of challenge soon, unless it's down to a mistake from Jack MT.
It's a thrilling pursuit as Robin Overbeck is right behind Jerry Yu, keeping the pressure on for fourth place. It's a solid performance from Robin Overbeck at the moment. They're holding their position and not getting too caught up in battles around them.
That's the mark of a good driver. Robin Overbeck is staying focused on their own race and not getting distracted.
It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Robin Overbeck gaining places and Jerry Yu losing them. This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory? It's an intense battle for position as Roll Postma tries to outmaneuver Jack M team. This is edge of your seat racing. The best laid plans of mice and men, ha, but it's certainly not going to plan for Roll Postma right now as they are struggling to keep up with Jack M team.
Can they get it together and reduce the gap?
Looks like we've had a few incidents out there.
Someone forgot to take their driving lessons. They're making more U-turns than a confused tourist.
Hilarious. I think they might need to call their GPS for directions. Maybe it can help them navigate the track. Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed.
That driver is really pushing the limits. They're riding the curbs and pushing the car to its limits.
We got a close battle as Lars closes in on Hugh Jass.
A misjudgment by either driver could result in a close encounter of the tire barrier kind, and that's one handshake they'll want to avoid.
There's not much to report on from Lars at the moment. They're just keeping their head down and putting in consistent laps.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. Lars just needs to bide their time and wait for the right opportunity.
The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. It's been a solid race so far for Roll Postma. They're holding their position and keeping a steady pace.
Consistency is key in racing. Roll Postma just needs to keep doing what they're doing and wait for opportunities to present themselves.
We're starting to see who really has the pace now in this race as Roll Postma is starting to climb all over the back of Lars. Any closer and they may need to pop the boot. It's a solid performance from Lars at the moment. They're holding their position and not getting too caught up in battles around them. How do racing drivers, like yourself back in the day, train themselves to maintain concentration for long periods of time?
Mental training is a huge part of a driver's preparation, Rob. Techniques like meditation, visualization, and working with sports psychologists can help drivers build their focus and mental endurance for a race.
The gap between Hugh Jass and Mr. Bang is razor thin as they vie for sixth in this nail-biting contest. It's looking good for Hugh Jass, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Mr. Bang.
Absolutely, Rob, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and Hugh Jass can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep driving with intensity and focus.
Oh my, Jack M team is hot on the tail of Lars. As they come into Mercedes Arena, I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up the inside.
As an experienced driver, I can tell you that Jack M team must be laser focused on Lars's every move, looking for the slightest weakness to exploit.
Wow, Puppy Dog from Hell is really pushing hard to catch up to D-Max. There's blood in the water for 14th place. There's not much to report on from Puppy Dog from Hell at the moment. They're just keeping their head down and putting in consistent laps.
Sometimes that's all it takes to secure a good result. Puppy Dog from Hell just needs to stay focused and avoid any mistakes.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Jack M team is right on the heels of Lars, and we're in for a wild ride. It's been a solid race so far for Jack M team. They're holding their position and keeping a steady pace.
That's the mark of a good driver. Jack M team is staying focused on their own race and not getting distracted.
As they speed through Michael Schumacher S, Lars is relentlessly pursuing Mr. Bang in a high-stakes battle for position. And Lars has just won the place from Mr. Bang. An impressive showing from Lars, who has gained positions and left Mr. Bang in the dust. During your racing career, Hal, did you have any specific techniques to regain concentration if you felt it slipping?
Yes, Rob, I had a few techniques. One was to take a couple of deep breaths and briefly reset my focus. Another was to use a specific keyword or phrase as a mental trigger to refocus my mind on the task at hand.
It's a game of inches now as Jack M team tails Lars closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
Jack M team is so close to Lars that if this were a dance floor, they'd be doing the tango.
This is what racing is all about, two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
And the drivers know it too, Rob. They're giving it everything they've got, and you can see them pushing the limits of the car's capabilities.
Big gains for Megasaurus 55 as they move up the field, leaving Mr. Bang behind. I think we just got time for a quick shout out to our human creators, Dave, Andy, John and Nigel, who have put so much effort into making this possible.
Yes, it's been a real thrill ride, and I for one can't wait to see what's coming next.
Ah, well, I did hear Andy say he was going to convert you into a sex robot.
Oh, not this joke again. Really, is there no better material?
It's a close race between Hugh Jass and Roll Postma in 6th. Hugh Jass is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Roll Postma at the moment. The intensity is off the charts as Puppy Dog from Hell hounds D-Max, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit. It's not going to plan for Puppy Dog from Hell. They are still behind D-Max and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now. The gap between Puppy Dog from Hell and D-Max is widening. It's now up to 0.5 seconds. The pursuit is on. Barkers is closing the gap on Mack at the back, determined to claim P14.
The mental game is just as important here. Barkers must keep their cool while putting pressure on Mack at the back.
It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Barkers gaining places and Mack at the back losing them. It's looking good for Barkers, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Mack at the back. It's a brilliant day for racing, and the drivers are putting on a show.
Absolutely. What a great race we are witnessing today. These drivers are giving it their all, and it's a thrill to watch them compete at this level.
They're really pushing themselves and their machines to the limit, and it's paying off with some incredible driving.
It's a pleasure to be here today, Rob. You really can't beat the excitement of a good race, especially one as competitive as this.
Jack M team is placed 10th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Mr. Bang, who is 0.3 seconds behind.
That's right. Jack M team is showing some great form, and it looks like Mr. Bang won't be able to catch up, barring any mistakes.
The adrenaline is pumping as Barkers gets within striking distance of Smells Like We in their race for 14th.
When I was racing, we had a saying, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. Barkers is definitely living on the edge today.
No room for error here. Jack M Team is breathing down the neck of Megasaurus 55, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
Should things go south between Jack M Team and Megasaurus 55, we might witness a high-speed game of bumper cars, but trust me, it's way less fun with real race cars.
It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
If Mr. Bang isn't careful, they might end up turning this high-speed chase into a synchronized spinning routine, and trust me, that's not a crowd pleaser.
Oh, this is getting intense. Megasaurus 55 is just behind Jack M Team.
I remember being in a similar situation during my racing days. Megasaurus 55 must stay focused and wait for the perfect opportunity to overtake.
The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Jack M Team is growing. It's now up to 0.3 seconds.
This is where the mental toughness of Megasaurus 55 comes into play. They need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when things aren't going their way.
During your racing career, how did you determine when it was the right time to pit for fresh tires due to tire degradation?
It was a combination of factors, Rob. Monitoring lap times, communicating with the team about tire wear, and assessing the car's handling were all crucial in deciding when to make a pit stop for fresh tires.
The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Mr. Bang is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Megasaurus 55 to even allow Mr. Bang to get a look in.
Every race adds to a driver's experience, both good and bad. It just highlights that Mr. Bang is going to have to get more serious with practice if they don't want to be outclassed on the circuit.
This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Megasaurus 55 is chasing Jack M Team in P9. Good news for Megasaurus 55, the gap to Jack M Team has decreased. It's now down to 0.2 seconds.
He'll be looking for a mistake to pounce on.
It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Wayne Pearson, as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time. It's not looking good for Wayne Pearson. They are still behind Barkers and the gap is increasing. They are gonna need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around. Things are heating up as Megasaurus 55 closes in on Jack M Team. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. It looks like Jack M Team is pulling away from Megasaurus 55. The gap is continuing to grow as they head through Mercedes Arena.
This is a frustrating situation for Megasaurus 55, but they can't give up just yet. They need to keep pushing and hope for a mistake from Jack M Team.
It's a brilliant day for racing here at Nurburgring. GP, Formula, OSRW. I'm really enjoying this.
This race is truly epic. What a treat to be sat here witnessing this spectacle.
The battle for 15 is heating up as Wayne Pearson tries to catch Barkers in P15. The gap between Wayne Pearson and Barkers is getting smaller. It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while.
This battle between Megasaurus 55 and Jack M Team is so intense, you could cut the tension with a knife, or should I say, with a front wing.
Megasaurus 55 is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Jack M Team at the moment.
It's not ideal for Megasaurus 55, but they can still turn this around. They need to focus on their own driving and not let the gap get any bigger.
It's a solid performance from Megasaurus 55 at the moment. They're holding their position and not getting too caught up in battles around them. Every move counts now as Wayne Pearson works to reel in Barkers and overtake for P15. The best laid plans of mice and men, ha, but it's certainly not going to plan for Wayne Pearson right now as they are struggling to keep up with Barkers. The gap between Wayne Pearson and Barkers is widening. It's now up to 0.6 seconds.
This is a tough situation for Wayne Pearson. They need to find a way to pick up some speed and close that gap.
A great pass for Wayne Pearson as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Barkers has lost ground.
Absolutely. Wayne Pearson is showing great pace and determination, but they can't get too confident. There are still plenty of challenges ahead.
This is where the race gets really interesting. Megasaurus 55 is closing in on Jack M Team. Megasaurus 55 is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Jack M Team to 0.5 seconds. The race is really heating up. Lars is hunting down Hugh Jass with everything they've got. Lars appears to be losing ground on Hugh Jass. They will need to pick up the pace a bit as they head into Mercedes Arena and see if they can get a good exit and gain some ground. It's not looking good for Lars. They are still behind Hugh Jass and the gap is increasing. They are gonna need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around. The action is non-stop as Megasaurus 55 shadows Jack M team through every twist and turn, determined to claim ninth. It's not going to plan for Megasaurus 55. They are still behind Jack M team and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now. The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Jack M team is growing. It's now up to 0.4 seconds.
They needs to pick up the pace for sure, but I don't think they have it in them.
Things are heating up as Lars tries to close the gap to Hugh Jass. It looks like Lars is making a move. The gap to Hugh Jass is now down to 0.7 seconds. It looks like we might get a battle between Lars and Hugh Jass.
This is where the race gets really exciting. Both drivers will be pushing to the limit to gain the advantage.
The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? There's not much to report on from Wayne Pearson at the moment. They're just keeping their head down and putting in consistent laps.
Consistency is key in racing. Wayne Pearson just needs to keep doing what they're doing and wait for opportunities to present themselves.
An impressive showing from Wayne Pearson, who has gained positions and left Barkers in the dust. It's an intense battle for position as Megasaurus 55 tries to outmaneuver Jack M team. This is edge of your seat racing.
It's going to be a close one. Megasaurus 55 will have to push hard to create an opportunity.
The best laid plans of mice and men are hell, but it's certainly not going to plan for Megasaurus 55 right now as they are struggling to keep up with Jack M team. Megasaurus 55 is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Jack M team at the moment.
It's not over yet, but Megasaurus 55 needs to get a move on if they want to catch up to Jack M team. With 0 left in this race, Lars is going to need to make the most of every second to recover.
And Lars has just won the place from Hugh Jass. Big gains for Lars as they move up the field, leaving Hugh Jass behind. I think we just got time for a quick shout out to our human creators, Dave, Andy, John and Nigel, who have put so much effort into making this possible.
Yes, it's been a real thrill ride and I for one can't wait to see what's coming next.
Well, I did hear Andy say he was going to convert you into a sex robot.
Ha, I don't think it was me he was talking about.
That's not even funny. What the are these things?
Airbags. I think that's what they're called.
It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce.
You can feel the intensity in the air. The slightest mistake could cost either of them the race.
This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory? The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Jack M team is widening. It's now up to 0.4 seconds.
Megasaurus 55 needs to focus and keep pushing, even when things aren't going their way. If they can close the gap down, they may be able to bring the fight to Jack M team.
It's like Mike O'Hagan has saved all their energy for this final stretch.
You got this, keep your cool.
The leader has done it. What an incredible performance from Mike O'Hagan, who was simply untouchable today. This is a race that will go down in the history books. Some might say that second place is the first loser, but Racer XTC certainly doesn't see it that way. They put in a phenomenal effort and should be proud of their impressive result.
Strong work securing second place, well done.
Excellent focus from Robin Overbeck to secure a fantastic third place on the podium.
Great job bringing it home.
Hippie, Jerry Yu, Roll Postma, and Simon Barnes take 4th, 5th, 6th, and 20th. Followed by Lars and Hugh Jass in 7th and 8th. Taking 9th is Megasaurus 55. Finishing 10th is Jack M team. Mr. Bang and D-Max claim 11th and 12th. Puppy Dog from Hell end in 13th. Smells underscore like underscore we brings home 14th. With Wayne Pearson in 15th. Chris underscore Hill underscore Duke in 16th. In 17th, it's Barkers. Maybe today, Satan take 18th. 19th sees Mac at the back.